All right, everybody, I am back today because, as I said recently, I've been in the mood to watch some horror films. And so I've been busting out some horror films on some major platforms that have been released the past couple of years that I either glazed over or just didn't get the opportunity to watch. And this is one on Netflix that a couple people watched and enjoyed that they recommended to me. And so I thought that I would check it out. And the film I'm going to be talking about today is No One Gets Out Alive. No One Gets Out Alive is directed by Santiago Menghini. An immigrant in search of the American dream is forced to take a room in a boarding house and soon finds herself in a nightmare from which she can't escape. So it's funny because originally I thought the nightmare she couldn't escape was living in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm just kidding. I'm from Ohio. I appreciate Cleveland. I just think that that's pretty funny. But this film tells the story of Ambar, who we see at the beginning of the film, gets out of this van in the middle of Ohio. She's looking for a place to live. She's staying in like this hotel that they're saying, hey, if you want to stay here any longer, you're going to have a real form of ID. She doesn't have a form of ID, and she works sewing clothes at this factory. And she ends up one day seeing a posting for this like all woman's boarding house that this guy and his brother run. And so she decides, hey, I'm going to go here because they're not going to ask me for my ID. I can afford it. While at the same time, she's trying to find a job through her, I believe it's her uncle, and trying to get a job that's more substantial. She has to get a fake ID in order to do it so that she can show that she is a real United States citizen. And so she moves into this boarding house ran by this guy and his brother. And in the middle of the night, she starts seeing weird figures, and they have these really like scary looking eyes. She's constantly seeing this vision of this box, and she's recently lost her mother, and she stayed behind to take care of her mother. And so she's having a lot of flashbacks about when her mother was dying. And so the film is her trying to quote unquote find the American dream while dealing with this supernatural entity and presence that is making everything in her life a living hell. I really didn't know what to expect from this film because I didn't know anything other than seeing the poster, and I enjoyed it for the most part. I definitely don't think that it's a perfect film. I think it has some pacing issues. I think that there's some repetitiveness in the middle of the film that kind of pulled me out of it a little bit, but I did really respect the atmosphere of this movie. I really love the cinematography. The way that they shot this building was really creepy. It's very unsettling. Every moment that our character is in this boarding house, you sort of feel this level of uneasiness because of the first sequence that we see in the film, and throughout the film, other little things that we see that just make it a really uncomfortable place. And what makes this subject matter so difficult is coming to the United States and, trying to become a citizen and trying to find life for yourself in a place that you weren't able to do so beforehand is a really difficult thing. And I just talked about the film His House about these Sudanese refugees that are trying to get into Europe. And obviously this story is a woman from Mexico coming into the United States of America. And everyone in life just wants to make a life for themselves and wants to do something to live more comfortably and be more happy with their day-to-day existence. And so you're hurting so much for this character because you can see what she wants and what she wants to do with her life. And she's already gone through the tragedy of losing her mother, which is something that's so difficult and horrible to deal with on top of that, and then going through these like weird supernatural occurrences that have made things more difficult for her. And that made the film emotionally compelling and gripping for me and entertaining for me to watch. Like I said, my big qualms with this movie are there's a lot of repetitive scenes of like, oh, I need to get this ID, I need to do this, which is the base level subject of the film, but you're just getting repetitive scene after scene of the same repeated dialogue where it's like, okay, we get the gist, move on to the next part of the film. And what I will say is the third act of this movie is bonkers. My brain at moments couldn't even process what was going on because it's so strange and abstract and surreal in the best way possible. I really appreciated that element of the filmmaking a lot. I thought that it was just really well done and really entertaining. The creature designs in this, especially the people that are lingering through the house, I love the weird like beadiness to their eyes. It's really unsettling. It's like you're looking down a hallway and all you see is these like beady eyes staring back at you. And I appreciate the director's attention to detail with things like that. I feel like with horror movies, I'm someone who doesn't really get scared by jump scares. I mean, jump scares are essentially just there to unsettle you. A loud noise is always going to startle you and make you jump. But when you can put something in the frame that you're required to stare at that makes you feel uncomfortable, that is the kind of thing that scares me more than anything. And so in this movie, that really unsettled me and made me uncomfortable. And I was really appreciative of the filmmaker's decision making to kind of get that really intense suspense payoff that I was looking for in this type of a movie. And I really enjoyed this for the most part. Like I said, I had some qualms with parts of it. I didn't think that it was 100% perfect, but I still think if you're looking for a fun, spooky ghost story that has a bigger message on the bottom of it, I think that this is something you'll really enjoy. So if you've seen No One Gets Out Alive, did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was really great. I didn't really know what to expect from it, and although I didn't think it was perfect, I still really enjoyed it. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.